Now, I don't know if you know, but Resident Evil Village came out this year. So that was
Mhm.
number 8 in the series. And
Mhm.
in the sort of behind the scenes art, there's Ada Wong in there. And she was actually going to be a part of the story at one point. Did you know about this? Do you have to keep your mouth shut? And have you got a red dot on your head or what?
No, 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 no. I I have not been.
Yeah, you
Um,
do have a red
no, no,
dot.
I mean, I didn't know about it because I'm not privy to, because I'm not voicing Ada right now, and
Yeah,
as much as I would love to go back to voicing her,
yeah.
I did read, just because I'm always curious about what's going on with Resident Evil. I did read about that, and that somehow, like, it had nothing to do with me, and I would
No,
love to see that, but it was just, yeah, it was a kind of a mystery that I don't know, maybe they're doing something with her character that they're saving for another game. I have no idea as much as you guys.
do you think you would be the one to play, or they would get someone new, or what?
If they went back to using union actors, I would be, because the stuff that I did was under a union contract, and they went back to using non-union actors. So for whatever reason,
Oh, okay.
and so I wasn't able to work on the project. On future projects, they did ask me, and I just I have to abide by the rules for, you know, so that's
Yeah,
really the
yeah.
only thing, that if they wanted to do that, I would love to reprise her. I
Mm.
got to do some, a Teppan project, where I got to revisit her, last year, and it was just great. She's an amazing character. There's so much more to be plumbed with her. So, I keep my fingers crossed, but really it's, people sort of need to let, I don't have any say in the decision making process. It's
No,
really about what the fans want, and if the fans reach out, and then hopefully they decide to use union actors again, because I'm here.
801. It's been a long time.
Not long enough. I see you still like to play games.
Old habits. Besides, a phone call can be so impersonal.
What is it you want?
I received some very interesting intel on you, Miss Wong. Intel that will greatly influence your future. Curious?
Not in the slightest.
Dogboy says your work as Ada just hits different for me personally. Would it be rude to ask you for a greeting in Ada's voice? Love from Tyler.
No, Tyler, I would love to give you a greeting. It's so nice to see you. Well, I guess I'm not really seeing you, but I'll see you soon.
There you go. I love it. Craig says
I
if
loved doing her because she's
oh
so much cooler than I am, and
oh
like so
no,
much
come
more
on.
together. And like, I'm dorking around with my bed head, and she's like,
You're cool.
hello.
Don't worry. I do a lot of Resident Evil content here, so I've got to get some questions in about Resi. Um, what what do you remember about Resident Evil 6 doing that, or just playing Ada Wong? What, like, do you have fond memories or what?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely different, in that I did the face cap for her for Resident Evil 6,
Not
and
mocap?
someone else did the mocap. The very talented actress Michelle Lee did her motion capture. So her body is Michelle Lee, and then some of her face stuff is me. So that was really challenging, because you were in the booth watching the screen of Michelle doing the initial movements. So Michelle is acting, being Michelle, being Ada. And then I am watching Michelle be Ada, and then mirroring her movements. So if she came out of a doorway and looked right, then I
Oh,
came out
that's
of,
trippy.
and had to look right on my side, which is the opposite side of what I'm seeing her do, because it's mirroring, right? And Michelle and I definitely have different cadences. She speaks much faster than I do. And, so it's
Did you have
sort
to
of,
voice match as well?
I didn't have, well, and the timing is so that obviously you can't be still saying something if she's already through the door, right? And gone.
Right. Okay. I get it.
So
now,
you're
yeah.
matching timing, not necessarily the actual sound of it, but the timing. And so it was very much like, doing the, rubbing your tummy and patting your head and talking and chewing gum at the same time. And I had never done that. So it was a challenge for me work-wise because I had never done that. And we had a great time. It was one of the harder sessions, characters that I've done in that respect for 6, but I came out the other side being like, wow, that's an amazing thing to kind of know how to do and anticipate for when it comes up again. And I think now the trend is more to having one person do it all, but obviously I am not a 6 foot tall, beautiful spy. So, and Michelle Lee is, so.
Wow, that is bizarre. So,
But we had a great time, and Liam O'Brien of Critical Role and, so many voice credit fame, he directed me. And so it was great because we are friends. And so that was really lovely. It's always great to have, one of your buddies giving you some, just kind of shorthand.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. I wish I had taken video because Liam O'Brien giving you sort of imitating Ada Wong, how he wants to hear her. It's really precious.
That would be brilliant. So how does that work? Because there's a huge cast alongside you for that one. Troy Baker, we mentioned before, Matthew Mercer, who else? Roger Craig, Smith,
Laura Bailey.
I mean, it's a stacked cast.
Legal.
Do you get to work with them, or is it all you're just hearing them through the headset, or what?
No, we actually, they were really lovely in that they had a pizza party for us at the offices before we got started, which is really unusual. Normally you don't kind of get to know, and I actually didn't know any of them. I knew Matt Mercer. I've known him for a long time, but I think that was the first time that I had met the other, and I knew Roger, but I didn't know Laura or Troy at that point.
Wow.
And so it was cool to be able to kind of see who you were working with, even though we did not get to work together in the booth. For the most part, our sessions are by ourselves. Hopefully someday the industry will change to some degree and allow us to work together, because I think the end product is so much more cohesive. But there are many reasons that hasn't happened, and probably because we talk a lot, and so maybe we would never get anything done.
Yes, this is it. She may have left me, but now I have her back. Happy birthday, Ada Wong.
Now I get it.
It's only early. Darkness here says, how was it to face off with and voice both Ada and her imposter from RE6? Was it exciting to find out that the Ada storyline?
Yeah, it was great. It was, Carla is, I like the dark characters. So Carla was really cool. And that was another thing that I hadn't done before, was sort of making a character that just was a couple of clicks over. It was very subtle so that you really didn't know. It wasn't like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It felt really subtle. And so that was a challenge. And to have her kind of come out of it and drive that click a few more ticks over on the dial. But yeah, and also seeing the beginning animation of what they were doing was really cool. There was just a bunch of behind the scenes stuff that was really stuff that I hadn't been privy to in other games. And yeah, there was a lot of firsts for me in that game. And that was definitely a cool one.
Get over yourself. Help me? I'm the real Ada Wong.
I don't need help from anyone. Ugh. My plans aren't failing. They're thriving.
And soon, this frail shell of a society will collapse.
Everyone's asking about your opinion on the Leon and Ada relationship. Can you jog your memory and think about that and give us an answer? Because everyone keeps asking me. So.
Oh my gosh, it's like the biggest unresolved like sexual tension. I can't even. I'm like, if they ever have a game where it gets resolved, if I don't get to voice Ada, I'm free.
It's got to happen, yeah? Don't you think?
It's great. I mean, yes, I think so. I mean,
Were you ever told about that? Was that a backstory thing or not really?
in the writing. It's in the, I mean,
It's obvious, yeah.
It was obvious, and yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've been friends with Matt Mercer for a long time, and so it's knowing that we're both total goofballs, and then having these really like way cooler people on the screen. Just it's hard to wrap my brain around a little bit, but I definitely think there is a huge opportunity there for for them to bring this to fruition at some point, or for us to know. I mean, we got to know more, and then we got to finish it up. Am I right?
Well, there's a Resident Evil DLC for Village coming out, and I'm praying you as Ada Wong are in it. All right, let's hope it happens.
Let Capcom know. That's the only. That's all I can say. I would always love to come back.
You're really confused by all this, aren't you, Leon? It's kind of fun to watch.
Well, Dan, a few things that I actually didn't bring up in this little meeting of ours is it's very important to vote. So I'll be looking to make sure that you're talking about voting, because that's one of my pet delights, that everyone be registered and use their vote. Also, Dan, I just want to say it's been lovely talking to you, and I hope to indulge in more games.
I'd love to.
I don't crap.